Okay, well, hello everybody, and here we are on National Libraries Week, and this week we want to celebrate the work of the libraries and really tell you what we've been doing through this really unusual period with COVID 2020. So I've got Dalit here, who is our supervisor of Maidenhead Library. Hello Dalit, really nice that you can join us today, thank you. First of all, we want to touch on really what your job was like before in the real world, before COVID struck, and what it's like to be a library supervisor. And then really when the big change came in and the lockdown, telling us kind of what happened from then. So first of all, you're supervisor of Maidenhead Library, biggest library in the borough. What's it like? What's your job day to day?
So I'm sort of responsible for the building, 3 floors of the building, and everyone who works here, particularly library staff. So pre-COVID, our libraries team we are library and resident services team.
Okay.
So we dealt with all the library side of the library, but also customer service face to face, and sometimes dealing with phone calls from customers, but mostly the library work. So making our stock available to customers, promoting our stock, welcoming our customers, helping them with anything that they need. That was our library work. Post-COVID, it's the same. Our responsibility is the same, only we deliver it in a very different way, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so you've now got this, obviously after the libraries closed, it's now gone to a select and collect mode. So explain how you set that up, because obviously we did have a lockdown period where everybody was at home, and then when you came back into the library, you were tasked with setting up this whole new system so the residents could get their books. So what was it like when you first came back into the library after lockdown?
So when we first came back, it was wonderful. Just before lockdown, we finished a big refurbishment of Maidenhead Library, which was aimed at creating a lot of nice corners for people to sit down and read and browse and chill and spend hours here. Obviously, a pandemic isn't the best time for people to chill and spend time in the library. So when we opened again, we prepared to reopen. We had to change the whole way in which we were planning to work.
Like it's safe.
We used to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to make sure the staff are safe and the customers are safe, and at the same time to give as much access to customers to our stock without putting anyone in danger. And we focused on, as you say, select and collect, which is a reservations service. Residents could reserve the books or the items they wanted, and we would find them and they would come and pick them up.
But that's fantastic, because I think that at the end of the day, that's what everybody wanted. You know, the residents were missing their books, because now, you know, you've set that up. Now anybody in the borough, if they want a book from the library, they can get it, which is absolutely fantastic achievement. It really is. So you mentioned before that you had a massive refurb, and I know I've been lucky enough to work in Maidenhead Library. It's beautiful. Could you show us what it's like when people come in? Because it is a very beautiful library. Beautiful tree in the middle. Very nice. So, Dalit, when you come in, you follow these arrows in, do you?
They follow the flowers.
Yeah. Okay.
They see our lovely displays.
Beautiful.
These are all the reservations ready for customers.
Okay. Talking of books, we're all lovely book lovers here. What are you reading at the moment, or is there anything you can recommend to our viewers, something you've read recently you've enjoyed?
The one I'm actually sort of really into now is, I will show you this, My Dark Vanessa.
Okay.
You read it?
Right.
Have you read it?
No, but that is one of our latest bestsellers, isn't it? Can you tell us about it?
Oh, like that. It is by Kate Elizabeth Russell.
Okay.
So I always read things that are recommended, which the library is a great place for, because you have customers, colleagues and whatnot, people to tell you what they've read and what they like and what they don't like. And this is how I always find my next read. This was recommended to me by Zoe, my colleague, and it is, I wouldn't say it's a delightful read, but it's very intriguing. You do get into the story. It's about kind of following the Me Too movement. It's about a woman who has been abused by her teacher when she was at school, and now she's older, and it sort of, it goes back and forth in time.
Yeah.
So the story itself, we all know the story. We've all heard that before, but I don't know, it's written in a very compelling way that I'm still struggling with.
Okay.
In a good way, it is disturbing because it's a child that is being abused by a teacher, and nobody, it's not a pleasant read. But it's very intriguing to see how she puts herself. It's, the narrator tells her own story, obviously, as a child and as an adult. And they both don't make any sense to me. I find I'm trying to get my head around it, and how I find it fascinating. I always get fascinated by narrators, how they make themselves heard and how they tell a story and make it appear different. Do you know what I mean? That's always been my thing. And in this case, she's doing it, I think, magnificently, because you read it, you're intrigued. You like her, obviously, you sympathize with her, but something's not right. And the author does it so wonderfully, I think. So yeah, it's a disturbing read, but quite interesting. A good one. I recommend.
Joy, I know I've seen a number of copies around the library, so if anybody is interested, do sign on to that. Well, Dalit, thanks ever so much for talking to us today. It's been really interesting learning about what you did before and what you're doing now, and I'm just really pleased that the residents are able to get books the whole time and still access the library. So thanks ever so much for speaking to me today. Thank you.
Lovely to see you, Jeanette. See you soon.
Thank you.